Hello, everybody. Eric Worre here, and we have another top earner interview. Members of our Next Level Mastermind, great leaders from Texas, from Dallas, Texas.
Yes, sir.
Heidi and Miles Stallard. How you guys doing?
Fantastic.
Good.
You doing good?
Love Vegas.
Everything's good? You got in here all safe?
Yes, sir.
We're here in our Vegas studios. It's 1,000,000 degrees outside. It's like the surface of the sun. But it's a dry heat, you know? So we've got these guys here. We're going to dive into you guys' story a bit. You Dallas Cowboy fans? Are you football fans at all?
We're bandwagon fans.
Bandwagon,
Yeah.
you jump on if they're good.
If they're good, we're
good.
fans.
Yeah, and if they're not good, no.
Yeah, we move on to
Do you have any
the next story.
backup teams or anything?
Oh, man.
Anything Texas.
Anything Texas
Yes.
is good?
I typically like the team that has the cooler uniform.
Ah,
Yeah.
really? Really? So how long you guys been involved in this thing called network marketing?
Little over 5 years.
Okay.
Yep. 5.5 years.
And were you together at the time?
We were. Yeah.
Okay.
For 2 years we were dating.
Okay. I want to get backgrounds because I'm fascinated with origin stories of where you guys come from, what makes you tick. I think success leaves clues. So anytime you find somebody who's successful in our profession, I want to know where they come from and what makes them. I'm looking for what's the DNA that makes them work, right? So usually in businesses like this, there's somebody who starts it in a couple, and then another person who joins it at some point. Who is the starter and who is the joiner?
I was the starter.
You were the starter.
I was the starter.
Do you agree?
He was.
He was the starter. So you were the starter, and then how long were you working on it until she said, okay, I'll do it with you?
About a month.
Okay, so pretty
Actually,
quick.
a month on the dot because she was my rank promotion.
So you needed her to get the rank. Okay. So I'll start with the starter. Take me back. You're a young man.
Right.
Yeah,
29.
29 years old. I'm of the belief that anything before 30 is dress rehearsal. So you've done good in your practice run to get ready for life to start at 30. But you started this 5 years ago, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
So you're 24 years old.
Yes, sir.
Okay. I started when I was 22. What kind of a kid were you growing up? If you were to take you at age 7, how would somebody describe Miles at age 7?
Competitive.
Yep.
Very athletic.
Yep.
Shy.
Shy but competitive.
Yeah. Shy, competitive. Definitely a people pleaser.
Okay.
That was me growing up for sure.
What were your parents like?
My dad is an entrepreneur. So is my mom. Actually, they're both entrepreneurs. My mom's an esthetician. My dad, construction. And they are amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, amazing parents. I would say I am 100% who I am today because of the way they raised me.
Sure.
Yeah.
So did they encourage the sports stuff?
Oh yeah.
And like you wrote, you opened your eyes bigger.
Yeah.
Why are they big sports people?
Actually, no, but they are very. They understood. I believe they understood the impact sports would have on their kids.
What were the sports that you were big into?
Football, baseball. Whenever I was real younger, it was basketball. Until I realized that I was going to be too short to play basketball.
Yeah.
And then I ran track as well. Whenever the season came about.
If you had to pick one, which was the one that had your heart?
Football and baseball. It was kind of between the two of them.
Okay. What did you play in football?
I was halfback, slot receiver, and corner, safety, kick returner. That's kind of like everything.
So you're fast.
Yes.
Yeah. Fast and in Texas, this is in Texas?
Mm-hmm.
Texas football is like
It's
another level.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
So were you on one of those good teams?
No.
Really?
No, we were probably the worst team in the entire state. And
no.
I'm not even just saying that either. Like, that is actually not even a joke. The closest game my senior year, this is embarrassing. Sorry for everybody from Granbury, Texas, but about to put us on blast. My senior year, I believe the closest game we even came to winning was only within 40 points.
Within 40
We were that bad.
points.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
And my class, my senior year, we were supposed to be the one class to be like really good.
There's a chance.
Yeah, and no, we were really bad, but we were great in baseball.
Okay.
Baseball was definitely the sport.
Okay. So football had your heart, but baseball is another. What position you play in baseball?
Center field.
Okay. Good hitter.
Yeah, I was leadoff.
Okay.
Yeah.
Again with the speed.
Yeah.
You make great contact and you can get on base.
Yep. I actually had one of the highest on base percentages in the state.
What
whenever
was
I was
it?
Senior. Oh, I have no idea, but I remember
About?
it was big. Yeah. I have no idea.
A big number.
But yeah.
Okay. So you go through this whole high school experience and enjoy your sports. You a decent student?
Very good student.
Okay.
Yep.
So good student, not like me. I was not a good student. Good in sports. Were you a reasonably popular guy, kid in school? I wasn't one of those either, so I can't relate to that. So you finish high school and then what?
And then went to college.
Okay.
Went to Tarleton State for my first 2 years. Fraternity.
Play any sports?
I actually cheered for a very short period of time.
A lot of you get some tumbling skills,
Used to.
some
yeah.
gymnastic skills.
Mhm. My niece is always trying to get me to do backflips and stuff, but
Yeah.
I'm scared to now.
Yeah.
Blow out my back or something. But yeah, so I cheered in college. I wanted to play baseball. The whole plan was to play baseball, but at that time I was actually following a girl to school, and I went to the one school that I promised I would never go to. But that was the only school she was able to go to because her parents were very strict. So ended up going to that school, and then ended up cheering randomly. That was a very random thing. And then I transferred over to North Texas and spent the last 2 years over there.
Okay. And what was your degree?
Medical rehab.
Really?
Yeah. So actually,
So some kind of physical, sports related.
Right, but I actually went into school with a marketing major, and then freshman, sophomore. So my sophomore year, I was supposed to do a speech class for marketing, and I was terrified of public speaking. Terrified. I had a 1 minute speech and probably like eight people in the class, and I literally went to the counselor and was like, I need to change my major, find me something where I don't have to do a speech class. And then I changed to medical rehab, and that was kind of physical therapy was the route after that.
Okay. So you graduate. How old are you when you graduate?
23.
23.
And then what? What do you do?
And then, so through school, through college, I was a club promoter, kind of like an entrepreneur club promoter type of thing. And
You can help fill up the clubs.
yeah, I ran party buses, and I did it in a network marketing way without knowing it was network marketing.
Wow, funny.
And then bartending and all that. But then shortly, about a year after spending about a year trying to find a job, I landed a job as a claims adjuster, which had nothing to do with my degree. So
how did that job happen?
well, I grew up in the construction world, and it was just
Like a big storm hit or something?
yeah.
And
So I
the
used
opportunity showed up?
right. So I used to travel with my dad to he was basically a storm chaser.
Yep.
And I was supposed to be selling roofs and doing all that for my dad, even though I'd never made one sell. But traveled with him, and he always wanted me to get into the insurance side so that eventually I could probably take over his business on the construction side of things. And so that's how that happened.
So what was that? How long did you do that?
I was in claim for right at a year.
Okay. And then you got introduced to network marketing?
And then I found network marketing.
So tell me about the introduction.
Well, I was...
Because you're not like, you're making money, you're not like desperate out of work.
Right.
Or whatever.
Right.
And first of all, who introduces you to this profession?
Well, it was actually a buddy of mine on Facebook, and he was driving an exotic car. And so that was my first kind of like...
Got your attention?
Yeah, it got my attention because last time I spoke to him was like a year prior to that, and he wasn't rich by any means. And
What was the car?
It was a R8, Audi R8.
Yeah. Sweet car.
Yeah, and that was kind of my dream car probably at that time. And I saw that on my Facebook. And honestly, during that time too, I was looking for a mentor. I was looking for somebody that could take me to the next level because I was doing good at a pretty young age. And I used to run through neighborhoods hoping that I could find somebody in their yard, wealthy neighborhoods, and I could just kind of stop and talk and find a mentor. And then finally I see him on Facebook. I'm like, okay, he's really cool. And he's young. He's driving an R8. I got to see what he's up to. And I saw that it was network marketing. And I was very negative about it. Very just skeptical. The typical... pyramid mentality, It
just seemed a little cheesy.
Yeah, it seemed too good to be true.
Yeah.
And, but I saw that. And so at first I kind of threw it to the side. Then a week later, I see his Facebook again. I kind of let's hit him up, let's see what this whole, network marketing thing's all about and just kind of see where it goes. And he got me in front of the info. They sat me down and the proof. It was too much proof. And I said, you know what? I had nothing to lose. So let's give it a shot, and so we did.
So you made the decision. The first 30 days or so. Mm-hmm. Did you have success right away? Was it a delay or?
No, I had really fast success right out of the gate.
So you got some people to take a look and people to join and people to get things going.
Yes, sir.
All right. So I'm going to back up and go to you. So tell me about this young lady. You're 7 years old. How would the world describe you?
Rambunctious.
Yeah.
I was a kid that had a lot of energy and not a lot of self-control.
Yeah.
My mom would say I was like a bull in a china closet, for sure.
Okay.
So they put me in Taekwondo, and I kind of learned some self-control there. And I kind of played different sports growing up, but the one that really caught my attention and kept my attention was basketball. I too discovered I was short, so that wasn't going to be a good future for me. But it was fun and fast-paced and hands-on, and you didn't have to wait in a line to take your turn. It was very like go, 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 go.
Right.
And I liked that.
Yeah.
So that's kind of how I guess that's where my competitive nature came in.
So you're competitive growing up as a kid?
I was also, I wouldn't say I was shy, but like I also was one of those kids that probably was like nervous to like step into who they were. I was like really tall when I was younger, and I was just very awkward and a tomboy and goofy, and maybe my mom wouldn't describe me as goofy, but I remember feeling goofy.
Right.
Just kind of like the puppy had too big a paws kind of thing. Yeah.
Isn't it funny how we all have our insecurities over different things?
Yeah.
Where a guy's like, oh, I really like tomboys, and the tomboy goes, oh, I wish I was more girly or whatever, you know what I mean?
Yep.
Or, I'm too fat, or I'm too short, or too skinny, or like my son is my oldest son is really lean.
Yeah.
Which I would love to be. And he just hates. He just hates the fact that he's lean. Yep. So we all got our stuff.
Yep.
Right?
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Whatever it happens to be. My chin's too big. My nose has a dimple. Whatever. I mean, everybody's looking at things at a unique way.
Yep.
So you go through your high school. Your good grades.
I always had good grades. School was not a priority to me.
Right. What was your priority?
Anything but school. I liked things that challenged me, and I do feel like the normal structure of like a day was like, and again, it was like I needed something that was like faster. Yeah, it was torture for me too.
So you get through your high school experience.
I get through that.
And tell me about your parents.
My mom worked for the local government for 17 years. And then my dad, he's actually had the same job for, I don't even know how long now, but he actually kind of helps run a big truck company out of Dallas. Yeah.
Nice. So you finish your high school experience, you go to college?
Yeah. So I actually started working at 15 at a little mom and pop pizza place. So I was in the service industry for almost 10 years by the time he got into network marketing. So I actually ended up going to school.
You were with them for 10 years.
I was actually, well, I like to say I graduated from being a hostess to a bartender, or to a server to a bartender.
Okay.
To kind of, I kind of,
Right.
progressed. But it was a good industry for me because I could pay my way through school.
Mm-hmm.
So I was working 40, 50 hours a week in the bar and nightclub industry, 5, 6, 7 nights a week. And then I was going to school full time, 5, 6 days a week.
Right.
Yeah.
So, and where'd you go to college?
UNT as well, University of North Texas.
All right. Is that where you guys met?
Nope.
Did you went to the same school and didn't meet?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
We actually met working at a club in downtown Dallas.
Yeah.
Ah, they warn people about, dating somebody that works in the club with you.
Yep.
I've got friends that are like hosts and stuff here in Vegas, and they're like, "Oh, I tried that. That did not work out, but it worked out for you."
Yeah, it doesn't.
You watch
usually
your
work
friends,
out.
crash and burn.
Yeah.
And then they have to work next to that person, or whatever.
Yeah.
So it worked out for you. You guys, everything was just you met and.
Yeah. I'm going to embarrass you for a second.
Okay.
I know that's a great way to start things.
I feel like I already know where this is going.
Okay, where's it going?
I think it worked out for us because he knew exactly what he wanted as soon as we met, and I knew exactly what I wanted too. So like our first date, he literally whipped out his phone and was like, "These are all the things I need in a wife." And I was thinking in my head, I got this.
Piece of cake.
Yeah, so like we just knew right off the bat, and so we've never not worked together.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. We've always worked together.
So were you helping him in the insurance adjuster stuff?
No, at that time I was actually still working at a high volume bar in North Texas.
Mm-hmm.
And so our schedules were kind of opposite. He was working like a daytime job. I was working in the evenings.
Well,
and
I was bartending then too, though.
Yeah, you were. Yeah, on this side he was not full time. Well, when we met, which part of you?
I was bartending ever since the second we met.
Yeah.
All through insurance claims, I was bartending.
That's true. Yeah.
Because it was only Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and it wasn't work.
It's good cash. You're hanging out with your buddies.
Yeah. I mean, we were partying and getting paid to have fun.
Yeah.
Right.
So.
Yeah.
But
some people can stay in that life.
And that's the scary part.
You can stay there. You stay there like 1 year too long, and it turns into 20 more.
Mm-hmm.
It's a slippery slope.
You've seen some people who've done it, right?
Yes.
All right. So you guys, meet, you date. At some point, you get married. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, so he got started. Do you want to take this part of the
So
story?
were you dating when you started in network marketing, and then you got married later?
We were dating about 2 years.
Okay.
We were like ready to take that next step in our relationship.
Got it.
But we were both working and go right ahead.
Okay. Well, now it's my turn to embarrass you. When I first joined network marketing, she was very negative about it. She had a bad experience. And so whenever I brought this home to her, it caused a very turbulent time in our relationship.
Really?
My very first...
I want to know your exact words.
I almost broke up with him.
Really?
I thought he was crazy. He was making great money, and now he's going to do this network like at the time I was getting ready to leave to do a study abroad, and he was making great money, and I'd seen him kind of evolve and have this journey in his career, and I was like, "You're making great money. Why would you want to split your focus?" Not only that, but instead of spending time with me, because he was starting to focus on his network marketing business, you're going to go to some meeting instead of spending time with me? Like, you are crazy. And I thought his priorities were messed up. I was that girl.
And I'm not judging that on its surface.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Because people have given network marketing its own kind of emotional baggage based upon the hype and the claims and everything else that people get out of control. What did your parents think?
Oh, they were against it too.
Yeah.
My whole family. So in fact, everybody in my family too, my mom, my dad, my sister, my brother-in-law, her mom, everybody I just named are pretty much six-figure earners with our company now.
Yeah, I know, but back then
they were very against it.
And what did your parents say?
Well,
same thing. You got a good thing. What are you doing, messing with?
Yeah, my mom called me a name. Not gonna repeat it. She was making fun of me. She was like, "You're just trying to get rich quick, and you get a real job."
Mm-hmm.
My dad, he thought I was gonna go to jail. Like he was that far on the this is not real. Like this doesn't work. You're gonna go to jail. I know people that have been to jail for stuff like this, and so they were very against it. My whole, everybody, all my friends, everybody. My first like meeting that I had, in fact, my first 6 guys that joined me, I brought them over to our house, and she literally told all of them, if you guys do this, y'all are stupid. Literally told all of them. That's my first meeting, right? So
it probably worked for them to sign up.
Well, they thought I was dumb too, but I mean, once they saw the information.
No, but hold on now. So everybody's negative.
Yeah.
You're going against the wind and against the grain. How did you get off to a quick start with everybody being negative?
The proof. I was relentless.
What made you continue to go when you're getting this kind of resistance? Did you ever think about, you know what, maybe they're right?
No.
You're like, no, you guys aren't seeing it yet.
It was his competitive nature for sure.
Yeah, it was. I was relentless. Everybody thought I was crazy, but I was like, this. You're not gonna be calling me crazy for too long. That was kind of like.
So you really saw the light.
Mm-hmm. I saw a lot of people having a ton of success, like more success than I've ever seen in my life. And I figured if this many people can do it, I can do this too.
Right.
And I was relentless. I mean, I was non-negotiable, and I didn't let, especially my close friends, tell me no.
Right.
I'm a very introverted person, but whenever I'm in my bubble and I'm in my circle,
sure,
I'm not.
Yeah.
So I don't know, but
so you go against the grain, and a month goes by, and you say, well, I better join them than fight them.
Well, I left to go to China to do a study abroad, and I ended up in this like little rural village where most people had never like seen anybody outside of the village. And so it was where I was at was like a foreign planet. Like it was just so unusual for me. And it was like the first time that I had ever pressed pause on my life. I was 15 when I started working, and here I am 24 almost, I was 24. And it was like the first time I had just gone, do I like where I'm at? And I hated it. I realized I was going to graduate soon with my degree. I was going to make less money than I was making bartending. And I went,
what was your degree going to be?
Oh my goodness. You ready for this?
Yeah.
Interdisciplinary studies with a focus in marketing, sociology, and learning technologies, and a minor in philosophy. Everything and nothing.
Is there
all at the same
letters
time.
that go with all of that?
It's like a made-up degree.
Wow. Say it again.
Interdisciplinary studies with a focus in marketing, sociology, and learning technologies, and a minor in philosophy.
Holy moly.
So everything and nothing all at the same time.
Yeah.
And I was in China studying geography, so studying rocks.
Okay.
Unrelated.
Yeah. So you have this little midlife crisis early and go, what am I doing? Yep. I built this whole ladder and I put it up against the wrong house. Yeah. If I get to the top, am I going to like it?
Yeah. I kind of felt like I had gotten.
This is all when you're in China, you're kind of thinking this through.
Yeah. I had this moment.
You weren't in Wuhan, were you?
I was not.
Okay. Just wondering.
I wasn't. But yeah, I realized I'd kind of gotten to this like what I had in my mind imagined to be this promised land.
You guys are dating at this time?
We were dating.
Okay.
And I was like, oh my goodness, this is like, for me, not that formal education ever is, but for me, it was like what I had imagined in my mind was very far off from what my reality was about to be in just a couple of months when I got that degree. And I realized quickly, I was like, I have got to do something, because I was supposed to be starting my life. I was supposed to be getting out of college. Things were going to be great.
Yeah.
And then for me, I was realizing I was actually going to have to start my life over.
Yep. I think the journey before 30, the hardest journey in the world, I think, is from formal education to finding the thing that's going to be your thing for your life. That is the longest, loneliest, most confusing place to be. You're like detached from the world. You're like floating. So you have this realization. And what do you do with this realization?
I called my mom in the middle of the night, panicked, dropped all my classes online, decided to buy myself some time. And I was terrified to tell him I was going to have to be in school a lot longer, because I just got mad at him for chasing his dream and doing what he wanted. Now I'm like, I know we had a plan and I just broke it. But he called me and told me that he basically called to update me on his success and tell me he was getting a new car. And I was like,
Shit.
I'll listen. Yeah, exactly. I was like, all right, tell me more. And at that point, it made sense. And I knew what makes sense makes money. So I got started. And
How much of it was the opportunity? How much of it was the ability to do something together?
When we got started, we've really grown together. We were really competitive, which was probably really good for our businesses, because when I got started, I was like, I'm going to beat him. And
he's like, whatever.
Yeah, it was a journey for sure.
She was my ace.
You're sweet.
Yeah.
So, okay. So you say yes. And you start, and did you just say yes from China, or did you?
I did. So I left to go to China with $1,100 cash, and I was supposed to get home and eat and survive and do everything with that. And I was like, I don't have the money. So I had to figure that out for sure. And
So how long did you stay over there?
I was over there for 5 weeks. It was a short summer program, but that was all the money I had because I had a stack of debt waiting at home for me.
So you're just connecting with people online in the meantime while you're over there? Did you start building, or did you wait till you get home?
I kind of started like watching some videos and stuff, like training videos. And then basically I came home from that event and I came home from that trip, went to an event in Dallas. And that's when it really hit me and has been that changed everything for me. It was like, money's working, the products work, let's go. And it was like, that was the light bulb.
Mm-hmm.
That was the light bulb.
So you guys have had a lot of success over the course of your last 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I know you're not ultimately where you're going to end up. You're still developing, you're still learning, you're still investing in yourself. You're part of our Next Level Mastermind, which is, for high level earners inside the profession. How's that experience been for you?
Good.
Yeah.
Good. I mean, we're pretty new to it too.
Yeah.
And I would say more than anything, it's the vision of what's possible.
Yeah. Seeing other people.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, whoa, okay.
Yeah.
Look at what this person's doing. You see somebody making $700,000 in a month, and you go, "What? In a month?
I want that."
That's what's possible. Okay, tell me how you did that. I think that's the highest we have inside of that group is $700,000 a month. But there's lots of 200s and 300s.
Yeah.
Lots of them. So I'm going to ask you some questions about your network marketing experience over the course of these last 5 years. And I'll ask you individually, and the answers can be different, probably will be, but just be as candid and honest with me as you can, okay? I'll start with you. What's your favorite thing? If you could pick one thing, what's your favorite thing about network marketing?
The personal development.
Really?
Yeah, the personal development. Oh man, I got so many though. I was about to name like 10 things.
Name a few things.
Okay, personal development, the networking, the relationships, obviously the financial side, right? But just the doors that the industry opens.
In what way?
It teaches you entrepreneurship. It teaches you to where you can do anything, and it opens the belief and the understanding that, you don't have to have that ceiling over your head, and just the lives, man, the lives that we get to change.
Yeah.
The text messages and the calls you get,
when you're a little part of somebody's story, it's pretty sweet.
Yeah. So that's what I would say.
How about you?
Yeah.
What's your favorite thing?
I feel like a lot of our favorite things are the same thing, but I think for me, it's like that the whole idea that you can dream in this and that there isn't a ceiling.
And it's not wasted dreams.
Yeah, and you can create whatever, it gives you an opportunity to harness your creative power. It doesn't have to be like, yes, there's systems in place and you should follow them, but at the same time, like you kind of can have your own flair. And I think whenever you're in a lot of other, entrepreneurship environments or corporate environments, you kind of are constricted in your personality and
way constricted.
In network marketing, you find different personalities. You find people that are very like calm, mild mannered, and then you have people that are just like master powerhouses. And I love that. I love the diversity. I love the fact that it really is like, I think Robert Kiyosaki said it's like it's the way for the average man with a little bit of sweat equity to build something that could potentially set himself free.
Yep.
That
Right.
is exciting. Yeah.
And we talk about the positive all the time, and sometimes it gets people to go, come on.
Yeah.
Can't be that positive all the time. Stop it. So let me take the negative side.
Mm-hmm.
What's your least favorite thing about network marketing?
The fluff.
The fluff.
Mm-hmm.
Explain.
The fluff, that everybody feels like you have to exaggerate to build your business, and like the hype, yeah, and that the truth isn't enough, right? And I think that is probably that, and just man,
people get excited. It's hard for them not to hype sometimes.
Yeah, right. And I think that it's I think that is definitely my least favorite thing is seeing that, especially whenever you're a leader and you're hyped to a point to where you're like stuck in a weird position to where
like, come on.
Yeah. And then
or somebody started exaggerating about your income.
Yeah, and then you have to like go up and talk to people and be
quite.
like, he was incorrect. The truth is this, and
Yeah.
then they look bad, and then you're like feel bad. It's just yeah.
How about you? What's your least favorite thing?
I think the journey of like learning to manage the heartbreak of like people that are like, it's the people that like
They could.
The
It's
potential.
They won't step into it.
Yeah. It's, and sometimes their stories of like maybe some traumas they've been through or just past experiences.
Whatever reason.
And you can see that this could be the answer.
Yep. But they won't take the step.
Yeah.
I have family members that could be King Kong in this business, and they just won't.
Just won't do it.
They'll just keep crawling.
Yeah.
They're like a 45-year-old adult crawling when they could stand up and walk and they could run fast, but nope, they're going to crawl. It's like, really?
Yeah.
Really? So you have to learn to not fall in love with people's potential. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Right? Because if you do, and then you feel guilty. Maybe it's me.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm just not inspiring them. Maybe I'm not good enough leader. A better leader would get more out of them than I've been able to. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
You deal with this stuff. What's been your biggest challenge in the last 5 years?
Oh, biggest challenge. Trying to build belief in others. Try to keep things simple.
Mm-hmm.
I think that is another thing that might be frustrating to a lot of people in the industry is for the ones that see it, it's a very simple industry that we tend to really, really overcomplicate.
Yeah.
Simple's hard though.
Simple, right?
Complicated's really easy. The weeds are easy. A garden is hard.
Right.
Yeah. That is
I
good.
like that. Yeah.
It's just, complicated is like gravity. It happens automatic. Just add stuff to stuff to stuff to stuff. You add a story, you add this thing, you add this tool, you add this, pretty soon you got this monstrosity. To have the discipline to keep it simple, so hard.
Mm-hmm.
It takes genius.
Right.
It takes leadership, just unbelievable. But anyway, I interrupted, sorry.
No, that's it. And you brought up another good one, just the discipline, the consistency.
You strike me as a disciplined guy.
Very.
Yeah.
Very.
I'm not.
But it's still a challenge.
Really?
It's still a challenge. Mm-hmm.
You're probably, let me guess, you're the toughest on yourself.
Very tough on myself.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very tough on myself.
Yeah.
Okay.
For sure.
What's your biggest challenge?
For me, I think I still self-doubt a lot.
Sure.
Even today, but I would say, especially over the last few years, that's probably been my number one downfall, I guess would be the word. But that's definitely been my biggest challenge. And I know a lot of people struggle with that, but like, I feel like so we have a 2.5-year-old daughter, especially once I had her, at that time, we were very male dominated. I started to question if I could do what they could do.
Mm.
And so I had this whole complex.
Mm-hmm.
And I've since busted out of that. But 2 years ago, it's still pretty recent. I've only even just stepped nursing for a year, you know?
Right.
So it's like, but I went to the Women's GoPro event, and
That's
that
what I was gonna
literally
say.
saved me. Like,
Good.
I went there and I saw potential, and I was
Changed
like,
everything.
that lit a fire under me that I don't think it has dulled at all.
Yeah, good.
Yeah, it was
We work
the
with,
best.
Marina and I work with a lot of different couples.
Yeah.
And there's so much dynamic that happens with two builders in one household.
Mm-hmm.
One is sometimes one's the dominant and they're coaching / scolding the other one all the time. Sometimes it's one wants to just chill and has a different ambition and wants to do different things, and the other one's always they're always living under the disappointment of the other one. Or sometimes it's one that one doesn't like the way the other one's doing it, so it's like, oh, you're doing it wrong all the time, so it creates different conflict. Sometimes it's competitive, and the competition gets unhealthy in different relationships. So it's a different thing to build as a couple, to be a power couple, to work out how how do you show up to the world, how do you show up to each other, how do you have time, how do you have balance within your life reasonably. So have you guys ever had any challenges with anything in working together? And if so, what was it? What did you learn from it? What are you learning? How are you making it all work?
Well, I would say that literally everything that you just said that we've gone through.
Yeah.
Communication
It's incredibly common.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Communication, I would say, is our biggest, to this day, it's communication, because we're building two different positions, right? And and we are two totally different builders too.
Different styles, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Very different. I'm a very to the point, very direct, very simplistic, very I just go. Like, let's hit the numbers. That's my philosophy. Hit the numbers, we're good. Her philosophy is systems, and she's definitely the glue, she's
probably a little more heart and soul.
She's the heart and soul for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And just I think it is kind of what you were saying though, was just
It's dynamic. It's always evolving.
Yeah.
You know, and as we grow,
I wouldn't expect you to have it all figured out.
Yeah,
I wasn't trying to imply that, because it's a constant.
That's good, because we don't.
Yeah, it's a constant thing. I mean, what the foundational pillars that Marina and I coach people on, and we work on ourselves, is number one, there has to be mutual respect,
Right.
which means nobody gets to talk down to anybody. And all of us can get in our own space. So mutual respect is really critical, publicly and privately.
Yeah.
Two, there's got to be over communication,
Mm-hmm.
way more than you think. Just because you think somebody else should know, especially guys.
Yeah.
Ladies, you have to tell us, because we're not going to figure it out. Even though it's obvious to you, we're thinking about the next meal or whatever. I mean, third thing is a support thing, and it's kind of a respect thing. For me, I feel like if I know Marina has my back, and that's a non-negotiable for me.
Yeah.
I need to know that she's got my back, and she needs to know I have hers. It's kind of a mutual respect thing. And then the fourth thing is kind of like an edification thing, that we're always edifying each other to the world, which creates a kind of a unified thing. And probably a fifth thing is we don't have disagreements in front of the world.
Yeah.
Or the team.
Right.
Yeah.
We try not to. Every time we do, it's a mistake. Because you need to debate. You need to have a discussion. But it's just not good to debate in front of the team.
Right.
Especially if you got different points of views.
Yeah.
So anyway, those were the things that worked for us. What are some of the things that helped you guys kind of stay unified in your efforts?
I would say kind of, we've watched a lot of like the couples trainings and stuff, but I think a lot of it is appreciation over expectation.
Mm-hmm.
And
Huge.
Huge. Yeah. Everything at the end of the day, that and respect. And then the other one is like really just respecting, again, kind of the seasons that we're in, like when I have a baby,
Yes.
That's like a totally different season, when I'm going through those first couple of months is navigating motherhood and building a business and being on tour, and kind of like the whole get up. So that was, I think, knowing like when to double down, when to push each other, but also when to kind of back off and step up to the plate.
Yeah.
Just different seasons and kind of recognizing like when the other one needs that build up.
Yep.
Yeah, Miles has been great. He's the best mentor ever because he I know I say that and it is super cheesy, but I really do mean it. And because he's believed in me whenever I haven't believed in myself. And that's propelled us both forward.
Yep.
Yeah. And everybody else in the organization. It's healthy for them to see.
There was a time like 3 years ago, I think, when I was just burned out.
Yeah.
Burned out. And I just sat down with Marina and said, I'm going to take a month and do nothing. Nothing at all. She said, okay, I got it. Yeah. So she was doing all that stuff and I was doing nothing. Pretending to the world that I was doing everything, but doing nothing.
Yeah.
So without that communication, it can get weird. But with the communication, with the support, it's good.
Right.
Tell me something that, what are you most proud of in the last 5 years?
Well, in what regards? I'm proud of a lot.
In
of
building
things.
a business, whatever. What do you're like, what? I'm proud of the fact that I did that thing.
Yeah, I'm very proud of the lifestyle that we've been able to create together.
Mm-hmm.
Our family, and 'cause I feel like we represent a lot of things. Not just the network marketing industry and our company, but I think that we represent our faith really well, and I think we represent our family and our daughter and
Fitness.
Just and
healthy life all over.
Yeah, I think that.
How important is faith in your business? Do you think?
Everything.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's pretty apparent to a lot of people that kind of get started with us.
Mm-hmm.
Not that we don't preach on stage by any means.
No, you're just trying to show an example, right?
Yeah.
Right. And anybody that follows us knows. Right.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah.
How about you? What are you proud of?
I would say kind of the impact, two different levels of impact. One within our family, like our family itself has had a lot of financial success. And I did the numbers on that the other day and I was like,
what were they?
Our family's earned almost $1 million.
Yeah.
$1 million.
And it's like 1,000 here, a couple hundred here, tens of thousands here, a couple 100,000 here, so it's like, but to just have that impact where else would that money have come from? So, and to see how it's affected people and more so even just like the personal development that's affected our family, I think that could make me emotional in itself.
Mm-hmm.
Like some of the trials and tribulations our families have been through or some of the adventures that they've started on their own, like that all stemmed from network marketing, going through tough seasons and having that backbone of network marketing, creating an explosive season and having that backbone of network marketing. That to me is like, when I did the numbers on that and I was like, whoa, that's insane.
Isn't that cool?
And then to see also too, like, so many people on our team succeeding, kind of doing the numbers on that. That's cool.
Yeah, contribution is unbelievable fuel.
Yeah.
Has this business ever made you cry? Either one of you?
Every day.
Have I cried? I mean,
yes.
What?
You cried a lot.
Maybe tears of joy.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's fine.
Yeah. I mean,
that's what I meant
okay,
too.
If you're talking about that, then yeah, absolutely.
So,
right, but
give
me
one that you can think of.
Rank promotions for teammates.
Mm-hmm.
The ones that fought tooth and nail, just had the grit and the tenacity to push.
It changed their life.
And then they finally they have their breakthrough. You know, because you see so many people in this industry, they don't even give it a month of sticking with it, let alone 2 or 3 years of seeing little to no success, but just staying in the game and just grinding and pushing and pushing and pushing. And finally they have that huge breakthrough, and it's just like, oh,
Yeah.
that gets me fired up for sure.
How about you?
Yeah, I think you wait for that moment for a lot of people. And so when that
It ever made you
happens-
cry on the negative side?
Oh, yes, of
Like
course.
what? Tell me one of the stories.
I mean, probably
One came to mind. Tell me.
The one that came to mind was probably the one where I hit like, the 6-figure position in our business. And I had, when you're like on your biggest mission is when the biggest obstacles pop up. So, it was like me and him were arguing, like I was having, I don't even remember what the issues were. I just remember being caught in a downward spiral and feeling like I was literally going to break. My brain was like, so I remember I was like, called my mentor. I was like, I don't know if I can do this. Like, I can't do this. And I remember it was like, Heidi, you're in a downward spiral. And I was like, what does that even mean? But it was like that awareness. And that's a great story for us, like, to tell, because I see that happen to people. They'll be on that break. They have that. I mean, it's the whole, like, have a breakdown before you have a breakthrough. And that was the moment for me. And I've since been able to almost like speak life over people during those moments and be like, you're on the verge. And sure enough, they all go back and they all tell their teams, yeah, Heidi told me this and it happened for me and here's how it happened. So, I mean, yeah, you do. It's hard not to get emotional. When in this business, because so much of your heart and soul, I mean, in order to be successful, your heart and soul. If you don't have
some big emotional experiences, you're not trying.
Yeah.
I mean, you know what I mean? Because this will stretch every ounce of your emotional capacity.
Yeah.
Spiritually, physically, emotionally, mentally, to play all out.
Yeah.
I mean, if it doesn't touch you, you're not playing all out.
Yes.
Tell me a time when there was a disaster, just terrible circumstance, and it ended up being the best thing.
One of my top leaders was actually at our wedding. One of our top leaders was actually recruiting to another company.
At your wedding?
At our wedding.
As a groomsman. And then 2-3 weeks later, he leaves, goes to another company, and doesn't really wipe out his organization. He wiped out my sideline organizations. And that was a disaster. At least I thought it was going to be a disaster, but it ended up being amazing. It really brought the team together, and that line of business had its record-breaking month that following month. The following month. It was like the lid got lifted.
Yeah.
How about you? Do you have anything like that? A bad experience turned out to be good?
Yeah, probably one and the same with that. And then I had a close friend of mine who was also a top earner in my business, and she kind of did the same thing when I was in labor.
Happens.
And I was like, oh, girl.
It's not a matter of if, it's just who and when.
Yes. But, I think we always know, like, deep down kind of who those people are going to be.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
it happens
maybe
for
not
different
always,
reasons. And sometimes it's not, they're not terrible people for doing it. It's just, they bought a story or whatever.
Yeah.
There's not a large percentage of people that go to the top of network marketing are with the only company they've ever been with.
Yeah.
Stuff happens from time to time.
Yeah.
But tell me about this. You guys readers? Are you
Yes.
book people?
Yeah, well,
audiobook,
YouTube, podcast.
Yeah.
I definitely need to be better at reading because I get a lot more out of it.
Yeah.
But I'm one of those. I'm literally the slowest reader on the planet.
I was Jim Rohn got me going when I was in my 20s because I don't. If I wanted to go to sleep, all I had to do was start reading.
Yeah.
And I would go to sleep because within a couple pages, like reading Deuteronomy or something, there's no shot you're going to get through it without going to sleep.
Right.
But he challenged me to read 10 pages a day of a good book.
Yeah.
So I started on that with some of the books he recommended. And then I found some fiction that I liked, and that got to burn the groove. So name a book outside of any of your spiritual, religious books that has had an impact on you.
I think it's going to be the 2 most recent books that we just finished.
Yeah.
I'll let you.
Well, I have 2 of mine that just recently I'm like, and I read fast, but if I get into a book, I will dissect that baby. Sure. I will highlight, underline. I mean, I like all hands on board. So one book is called Pep Talk by Terry Savelle Foy. And it's really about like speaking, like declaring and speaking and seeing like what the creative power of your words have. And if you are unsure or don't see clearly, to like continue to kind of almost like, use scripture to prophesy and to be able to bring belief into that dream. So that one's been a big one for me. And then the other one is 5 Languages of Appreciation in the Workplace. That one, I was like, we do 5 love languages. We do 5 apology
The same
languages.
author?
Yep.
Oh.
And they have like a whole
Small
thing on it, but it's very good. And it's great.
Would you say the same?
No, mine would be tribal leadership.
Yeah.
Tribal leadership is in 10X.
Yeah,
and anything
great.
by John Maxwell.
Yeah.
I've read all of those, so yeah.
Cool. How about podcasts? You guys podcast people?
Yes.
Any favorites?
Yeah. I have several. I love Jessie Lee's podcast,
Do you?
Of course.
Yeah, she's fun.
And then I listen to Terry Savelle Foy. I listen to her podcast all the time and all of her stuff. I just really love her and resonate with her. Yeah. So I'm like all over her stuff. There's a few. I kind of bounce back and forth between some that are like business related, some are more spiritual. So I kind of ping
I can't
all
just
over
do
the place.
one. I've got to
I have to. If
fiction,
I'm
nonfiction.
I got to grow in all areas for me to grow.
You a podcast person?
Oh yeah, Ed Milet. I love everything by Ed Milet. I love, and maybe not so much podcasts, but Evan Carmichael on YouTube. Just with all the top 10s and the top 50s, and man, I can watch those all day long. And it's funny because it's almost the same information thrown at you over and over and over, but it's just always in different ways.
Truth is old, man.
Yeah.
Truth is old.
Yeah.
It just keeps coming around. People find different ways to say it.
Yeah.
Well, this has been great. I mean, and I think the information you're sharing is good, and it's real, and I appreciate you guys being, kind of transparent with all this. I'll start with you. Final question.
Okay.
Whether a person's looking at this or they're involved in this, they're looking for a breakthrough, they're looking to change their life.
Yeah.
What advice do you have for them?
So whether they're involved or whether they're looking at it?
If they want to do this big, let's say that, I want to do this, but I want to do it big.
Yeah. Probably 2 pieces of advice. One would be, I know a lot of people say new levels, new devils. I would say new levels, new commitment levels. Or new devils, new commitment levels. Like for every obstacle, you're going to have to develop a stronger commitment, an unwavering decision. The second one I would say is for anybody who's involved, we often say like your lifeblood is in the new blood, meaning like your lifeblood of your organization is in like new people. But really, I would say as a leader, if you want to do this long term, your lifeblood is in the new blood. Your source of inspiration, your source of kind of keeping your own vision alive is going out there and kind of, collecting the whys.
Always be building.
Always. And just, that's how you stay inspired, is being involved and being the biggest lover, because the biggest lover is the biggest leader. So I think that's one thing that I've really learned, especially within the last couple of years, is like new devils, new levels of commitment, Right. And then on top of that is like loving people no matter the heartbreak, and realizing that you will be inspired 10 times more than anybody if you continue to do that.
I find it so interesting is heartbreak's going to happen.
Yeah.
What's important is when it happens, when betrayal happens,
Yep.
or injustice or whatever, that you don't change your heart. Because that's the biggest, that's the saddest thing in the world, is when somebody gets something bad that happens to them. I had a friend of mine that just had her house broken into. and felt incredibly betrayed and scared and wanting to pull away from people and wanting to close off her public life and all this stuff. And I said, I understand that what happened is bad, but do not harden your heart. If you harden your heart and you close yourself off, then you're the only one that loses.
Yeah.
You got to still be willing to be vulnerable, even if somebody's occasional person's going to come and take advantage of it. Be okay with that. And she's like, oh, I need to hear that because I was going that direction.
That's
She was
awesome.
ready to like put the steel fences up in every direction, you know? So that stuff's going to happen, but you have to just don't let it change your heart. Let it change maybe some habits, but not your heart.
Right.
You know, have some boundaries, but not your heart.
Yeah.
How about you? What's your advice for people?
My advice would be to just get out of your comfort zone. Get out of your comfort zone. The only thing that's ever going to hold anybody back is the comfort zone. And just make it a habit, make it a practice every day to do something that stretches your comfort zone. That's it.
I love it.
I can talk about comfort zone all day. It's
Becomes a habit.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, Heidi and Miles Stallard, thanks for what you've done. Next Level Mastermind members, providing great value there too. I know you're just getting warmed up.
Yes.
You know,
Yes, sir.
at this point, you guys are sitting around this 30 thing. I remember 30. And I'm sitting at 56 going, man, look at where they're at and where they're going to go. The adventure of the next 20 years, 30 years is going to be the ride of a lifetime.
Yes.
I'm expecting great things from you and proud of what you've done so far and more proud of what you're going to do.
Awesome.
So thanks for bringing value.
Thank you.
Thank you for all the value you've given us.
Hey, we're just warming up.
Yeah.
That's right.
All right.